So the first thing you get, obviously, you still have your engine in the car, blah blah, and you have your donor engine. Either you bought it like this customer did on the pallet, or you took it out. This is the entire engine and most of this stuff on it. Now this one is not a standard engine. This supposed to be prepared. It's supposed to be a stroker with a hybrid turbo and a lot of stuff on the pistons, rods and all that, you know. Don't know what's inside because I haven't seen it. There's few negatives, few positives, but doesn't matter for this point. This is a donor engine. So, and it looks very standard because it's a hybrid turbo, means it's still built on the standard frame. So this is still okay for frame. You get what you have. Anyways, so when you have to prepare this, you're pretty much stripping the engine down. You're removing pretty much the lot. Now on this side of the engine, we go all around it. I'm gonna turn around so you can see better in the light, and you can see everything. So to start with, from that side, you're removing everything. We don't use it because obviously MR2 has its own power steering pump, and we leave that working as standard in the car. So this is off. Now once you remove that, you're gonna remove the alternator, all the wiring from the alternator, so the cables, the plugs and everything. Do not worry about it. Remove it. You can bin it, you can sell it, do whatever you want. We're not gonna reuse it. Once you remove the alternator, we're gonna remove this bracket here. Now what I do with this bracket, you can leave it if you want to, whatever. I cut it up there because all we're using this bracket for is to hold the alternator. Now some people ask, again, questions, can you use a standard AC air conditioner? Can you leave the compressor on? Yes, there is plenty of space to leave the Volkswagen compressor in the original place on the MR2. I'll show you actually on the car. Hopefully the camera will have enough light to show you. If not, I should have a light. Let me just grab it quickly. There you go. So this one doesn't have it. Anyways, the alternator is actually here under the the aircon compressor has been removed already here. Just the plug is there. It is exactly in the same position now on the Volkswagen stuff. Now the AC the cables, the pipes, they are here and they finish here, roughly here. So you're gonna have to have custom pipes going from the compressor to those pipes. But that's all the rest is very, very similar. Compressor in the same place, it's just the final fittings. So yes, it is 100% possible. People have done it. Have I done it? No, I haven't. Few customers did. There is something with the belt roofing and all the stuff, but you can research it, you can do it. Again, it's possible. There is space for it. You don't have to modify anything radically. Anyways, that being said, all of that comes off. If you're not gonna, if you leave the aircon compressor on, then you chop obviously this off, because you don't need it. You don't need the power steering. If you don't use a compressor on, I usually cut it there. You see, just under those bolts there, straight on that line, nice and clean. Because usually we use it just to keep the alternator on. Once we got that, you remove this pipe here. This is a coolant pipe. You remove the housing or the hard line, the hard pipe, which is plastic, and that is your thermostat. You remove both of them because we supply with the cooling system new pipe, aluminum one, and the new thermostat. You're removing the obviously oil filter because you want to change it anyway. But also once you remove the oil filter, you're gonna remove the oil heat exchanger. So yeah, that's good. All the pipes alongside of it comes off. Then there is oil pressure sensor that comes off as well. We're not going to reuse it because we are screwing the standard original 1ZZ oil pressure sensor in the same place. Now this one here, this is a standard breather. Now this breather here is a plastic, and this is one of the downsides of these engines. In time this stuff goes brittle because obviously it's got hot oil, hot vapors and all that stuff, and it go quite brittle, so you have to remove it. Problem is, like I said, it go brittle, so when you remove it, there's a very high chance of a risk of bits of plastic. This is hard kind of rubber, so it contains hard plastic. Those bits gonna go inside there. There's an O-ring and some bits may stay inside, and the problem is if they stay inside, they actually go inside this housing here, which is not great. So what I like to do is 1, 2, 3 and another 4th bolt, which is under there. You remove it and the whole housing come out. Underneath there you have a metal gasket. It's good to replace it I didn't replace it and it leaked slightly bit, so I had to put some silicone, which is, you know, some sealant, which it's not visible, really don't do what I do, and replace that gasket. Just get yourself a fresh one, put it back on, and it'll be fine. But yeah, just remove it, because obviously all those bits, they may go inside your sump. Now when those bits go inside the sump, and this is what kind of happen with these engines, people replace them, don't do it, these bits go in the sump, and then eventually the oil pump picks them up, and it does the job, because obviously there's a mesh, and that mesh will prevent those bits going inside the pump and damaging your engine. But eventually, if this happens too often, there's too many bits, that mesh, which is not too big, it actually get blocked and clogged. In that instance, you may lose the oil pressure, because it's not gonna suck enough oil through the oil pickup to go around the engine. So, you know, most of the case, 99% of cases when these engines go wrong is user's fault. So yeah, that needs to be done. Same applies to these dipsticks, yellow ones. When you remove them, be very careful, they get very brittle. The good thing is they're only like £7 on eBay. So that one, once you remove it, I mean, you don't have to, it's advisable. We use the ones in aluminium. There is a alloy fitment and a brass threaded part on the top, which is still 90 degrees, and it has 19 mil, I think 19 mil diameter pipe. So that's what we use. So this is it from this side. I removed this bracket here. You can put it back on. I never put it back on, never had the issues. All of this goes off. There is a sensor that there's a box there, and if you see this pipe here, this wire, this is from the turbo EGT sensor. Now EGT sensor on the turbo is this one here. We don't use it, they go bad, blah blah blah. We don't use it. It is removed from the ECU, from our map, where the map we work with the guy who does the mapping for us. So it's not used. You can remove it, you can chop it off, but the sensor in the turbo, leave it or blank it off with a bolt or whatever, because you can't just leave the hole in the turbo and house it. So yeah, that one is not used. Then I'm gonna show you all this piping here, all this recirculation piping, all of stuff is removed. These pipes, pretty much everything that you see here is gonna be removed. This is a blower valve. If you want to keep it, we don't, we get rid of them, because it's just, you know, usable space. If you have something like this, sell it and recover some money. As nice, as much as it's nice, it's not, you know, we're not gonna use it. First of all, because I don't think this is the right size. Second of all, because no, it's just not good. Sensors, obviously, we're gonna keep them. Now this customer, you know, is done the right thing, not using the old sensors, because they're old as all the new sensors. Great, I wish everyone was like this. The throttle body, because in MR2 there's plenty of space, the bulkhead goes here. If you leave the throttle body like this, the bulkhead will actually catch on the motor, on the servo motor, on the throttle body. What we do, there's 4 bolts, 2 on the top here, 2 on the bottom. Remove them and clock it, so this is literally on the bottom and this is here. Now this one, you can use either this one here, or there's another one on the bottom there, a vacuum takeoff, and we use them for the brake servo vacuum. So, but again, I'm gonna show you that later on once we're gonna do the build and connecting everything. All the rest around the turbo and everything goes off. There is this pipe here on the turbo. You see this metal one here and that one there. So this is a coolant. This is cooling system for the turbo. They are cooled with the coolant. This pipe here goes around the engine, goes here. It will go eventually inside there, and with the cooling system we provide a piece of pipe and then an adapter from a different diameters from this one to connect to the rest of what we supply. This pipe here is part of a metal pipe that is actually, you see there, goes down and it goes into the rest of the metal pipe, and now one comes from the housing, which is where the block, the engine block. Inside there is a water pump, so that pipe comes from the water pump and it goes around. You have this connected and you have more stuff connected to it, which are these two. And so what you do Once you remove everything, because you can't even see it from now, you remove it a lot. Now you can see there's another pipes here from the coolant. These are connected to this plastic housing with the sensor. Again, remove the sensor, remove the clip, this one here, and you want to keep them, both of them, because we supplied the aluminum ones, which arguably I'm not sure which one is better, because these break. The aluminium ones break too sometimes because they're quite brittle. It's like a cast aluminium, and they like to break on this lip here. So neither of them, they're really good. Not the plastic ones, not the aluminium ones. When you assemble them, you have to be careful with both of them. But the aluminium ones we supply, we have to use aluminium ones because we modify them. They are slightly different. They have an additional sensor and everything supplied. So all of this, again, scrap. On the gearbox, you remove this. This is an additional weight. You cut it here. You don't remove this. I mean, you can remove it, you can do it in situ if you want to, but this you cut it off because this needs to come off. This is just for comfort and noise reduction, and you know, I don't know, it's not needed. Plus we run like a linkage here, adapter linkage, and this is in a way, so regardless you have to remove it. In this particular case, you see there is a missing pipe from the clutch line. This is a clutch bleeder pipe, kind of like this goes, there's a line there and goes to the clutch release bearing. This comes out, you bleed the clutch from here, but there's another short piece of metal pipe coming from here. You need that pipe. In this particular case, it's not here. We're gonna have to source one, and you need that one there because that one actually connects straight into the flexible part of the Toyota, and there's no modifications needed. They literally connect to each other. Beautiful. This is a sensor for the reverse. We use it, but obviously in this case it's broken. As much as you could still put it on because pins are still there, there's nothing to hold the plug to it. So we will try to see if we can find a sensor to replace it before we're gonna give this car to the customer, because without this, obviously your reverse light won't work. If you don't worry about it, then yeah, you know what it is. That's your decision. If you can see on this gearbox here, we're missing the aluminium part of the engine mount, of the gearbox mount. This is not the gearbox mount, this is the gearbox mount bracket, which sits on the gearbox, and from there we use the mounts. This is crucial, it's needed. As you can see on this gearbox here, there's no more, there's no transfer case anymore. Once you remove the transfer case, which comes off with 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3 and 4, you slide it off. You can slide it off, no problems, but then once you slide it off, there is this collar here. Now this collar here, most of the times, is a pain ass to be removed, and if you force it, the more you force it, the worse it gets. So I get the pliers, but don't too tight, because if you get pliers too tight, it's gonna kind of change the shape of this, and it's because this is very precise fit. I have to knock it in a little bit and try to slide it out slowly, shake it out, and well, I'll show you later on. As we're taking everything this apart, so pulley, alternator, all the bolts and all the not needed stuff, I've just noticed something. This shouldn't be like that, because I haven't took anything from the timing kit off, and look at this. It's a bit loose, I would say. That's not normal. We have to investigate what's going on. It looks like they haven't set it up properly, but to be honest, it doesn't matter too much, because we have new timing and new water pump anyway to put on. But yeah, that's not right. So this is another reason why it's good to, you know, to check everything out, and because this will be pretty much problematic sooner or later. It's definitely all right. If this engine ran like this, it didn't run properly. So yeah, I'm gonna check if the timing is right actually, just before I'm gonna proceed. Anyways, that being said, everything is going to be removed, clean up as much as we can. Still takes some time, and then we're gonna dress it out with the new timing and new stuff to put on. See you soon. That's how it should be. everything works now. But again, everything is new, with the pump, tensioner, belt, pulleys, that doesn't matter. This is actually nice hybrid turbo. This is a very good option, because everything is standard, obviously has a nice actuator, and yeah, this will produce a lot of power with instant boost, and everything just fits like standard. So yeah, this is definitely something I may look into it. Instead of going for the huge amount of power like 600-700 brakes, 350 maybe 400, but instant, a lot of torque. I don't know, we'll see, depending on applications. And this is the piece that I was saying about the breather, goes in there. But now to remove it, as you see, there is no oil filter anymore. You remove the oil filter, there is a fin nut, that one there, that is a 27mm. Remove that, this slides out, and you're gonna remove this one out. Actually, I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be some oil coming out still. There you go, this slides out, this goes in a bin because we don't need it. We're gonna empty it there, leave it to drain. And this one you can literally sometimes even by hand, but regardless, I'm gonna do it now because obviously you need two hands. What we do, we cut it there, so we save all of this thread, because you can see it's long as that. So if you imagine cutting both sides, this exactly the same. So if you cut it there, this is plenty of thread to put the oil filter back on, like more than usually out of standard, so it's more than safe. This is, yeah, is a good trick, very cheap, to put the oil filter straight back into it. And then 1, 2, 3 and 4 10mm bolts. We're gonna take the whole housing out, make sure everything is right, obviously, unless this comes out nicely. Actually, you know what, let me do it now and see. Also, just to get better access, the bracket that holds this and this, we can remove it. There's just 10mm bolt behind it. I'm gonna show you why. All this stuff, because when we remove it, we have plenty of access to everything. And because we don't need this anymore, there you go, nice and clean. This don't need it anymore too. Right there. So yeah, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let's see how this comes out. Let's put it on the way. If we gent one off, it may come out in one piece, which it's actually still flexible, so maybe we get lucky with this one. We are getting lucky with it. Nice. Still one piece. This is, no, this was already out. This was out a long time ago. The beauty is this is quite large hole, so you can actually put your finger and feel if there's anything there. No, there's nothing there. So those pieces, they came out a long time ago, and they're gonna be in a sump already, so we don't have to take this out. We're gonna find them in a sump, and because we're replacing the sump, it doesn't actually concern us. That's good. That's good. Just make sure nothing there. No, it's good. Great. This one, you still have to take it out and put some tape on it, because there's no sealant. So seal it with the tape and put it back on. The O-ring, I like to get tiny bit of oil, even if it's old, doesn't matter. so it slips in the housing. Nice and easy. We're gonna put it on now because there's no chance then something's gonna go in. There you go. The clip back on, and we sort it on this side. There you go. Job done. And then you can rotate it in whatever direction you want, this way or that way, depending how you're gonna do the breathing system. And now, as you can see, all of this is connected. There's a PT piece there, check valve, so we're gonna remove it from that clip there. Remove it. That is gonna have to be blanked off later on. We're gonna remove this one as well, and remove all the rest of the standard breathing system, because again, all the check valves, one-way valves, we don't need all of that. So off it goes. Okay, so at this point a couple of things all together happening here, but before that I want to show you another thing. We have the new crank sensor, although I think this is fresh because the plug, I don't know, it may be alright inside, but don't have to be fresh, although it looks like. Anyway, someone already put it in, and I want you to notice where that crank sensor sits. It's not inside. If you lose that bolt, I already start doing that, you see? That sensor was never inside. That shouldn't be like this. This should be in. That should be in proper, and it wasn't. So, yeah, don't know. Someone didn't assemble this engine the way it's supposed to be. I mean, timing wasn't right. That's ain't right. So, yeah. And also, there's a couple of things under the cylinder, the head cover, but we get to that in a minute. Anyways, we're gonna change this now. I'm not gonna take this one out because again, we were lucky enough that that came out easily. Now, to remove this tailpipe, what we do, obviously I lose them already. You remove the bolts, 13mm sockets, out of both of the NOx sensors. Once you have them off, then you have again another 5mm. Already losing that one. No, actually it didn't. So to get to everything, and then for the future jobs, I remove this one here. So let's get this one out. Again, already loose. Now there's a trick to get to that bolt there. Again, 10mm socket. Remove your oil pressure sensor. Now this one we're gonna remove it regardless because you're gonna replace it, so we don't need it. And as you notice, if you remove it, that bolt, try all this stuff. If you notice, that is straight behind it. So now it's actually quite easy to get to it. Once that is out, everything just comes off. This is, to be honest, I don't need it. I never use them, and now we have the access to everything, specifically for the sensor and this pipe. Now imagine if this bracket is there, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to work on everything once the engine is in the can, and again, this supports itself plenty enough. So now, once that is out, we got access to this bolt very easily. Take it off. This is, don't lose it, this is not an M6, this is an M7, and M7s are pain in the ass to find them. You're not gonna find them in any spares you have unless you deal with these engines. Even then, not gonna happen most likely. Come on. There you go. Just being too cautious. Now once this is out, again, don't lose it. You're gonna come around and you're gonna remove the bolt I told you before. That's number 7 or 8. 8mm. And we're not gonna use it anymore. This is all loose now. There is an O-ring. Try not to break it over there. And I'm gonna need 2 hands to remove it completely. But let me see if I can just show you. Should do it with 2 hands really, but for the purpose of making this video for everyone. There you go. There is that O-ring there. If you can't replace it, replace it. If you can't replace it, at least put some grease on it. And that's it. After you've done that, this is the thermostat. get the old one out. Keep the O-ring. This is the new one. There's a nipple here, goes up. Obviously this needs cleaning first. Alright, then that is cleaning too. I'm gonna do it in 2 hands later. Put it this way, and then because obviously besides the O-ring everything is supplied, and the new housing goes like that with the 2 bolts, and again they are N7, so don't lose them. These ones. I'm gonna put the camera down and put the grease all of this. So all of these O-rings, when they old and all that stuff, but they're still good, or even new ones, do not put any sealant. Grease is way better. Okay, so now the thermostat is in, thermostat housing is in. We can put these back on because we're not gonna have to remove them in order to put this pipe back on. I'm gonna show you in a minute why. So all of that can come back together because now it's all much easier to do. The new crank sensor is in, nice and flush, not really difficult to do it, so I don't understand why the old one wasn't in properly. This is slightly different, longer lead, but it's nevertheless is exactly the same, so no problems there whatsoever. It's just gonna, I don't know, coil it here somewhere. So that's fine. There's another trick, there's another thing I want you to do. Now in this case I did manage to remove the dipstick in one piece. I think it was changed already. Still flexible, not too brittle, so clean all the crap inside there, take it off, and before putting it back on, you still have to take it off to remove everything. It's just much easier. But before you put anything back on, I want you to do something like this. Grab a screwdriver. Jesus, one-handed. Okay, not ideal. What I do for these videos. And get there. Maybe this way. I need to grab it properly, and then also at the same time make sure I'm showing you everything as it should. Doesn't take much force. Hope you can see it. And bend it so slightly with whatever you have available, not to damage it. Just a little. Let's check. The reason for that is because the dipstick, instead of being here, I want you to put it in between the cylinders, between the second and third, right there. Because we have the bulkhead here, there's no space for it. It has to be here, and then once it's here, it's very easy to check your oil levels. But make sure this is good enough now. Obviously, this is slightly bent, so you can still. No, almost there. No, perfect. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. Once you're there, you just have to be prompt. There you go, and it clicks in, and it stays there. You see? Absolutely perfect. And then check your oil from here, nice and easy. That's all it takes. It doesn't take much to bend it, because again you're only bending a tiny bit, what, 10 mil maybe inside, nothing more, not even a degree. So that's a nice tip for you. All right, we're gonna go ahead and I'm not sure, put this stuff together. Oh, so this is the pipe. Once you remove it, to remove this pipe, this is another trick. This pipe here comes straight there. Pain has to remove it. Don't worry, bend it here, because we're gonna chop it anyway. You don't have to be worried, just bend it. And also, again, like I said, this is exactly position we're gonna chop it just after this. Clean it, obviously, put some paint on it so it doesn't rust. Another thing that I remove is the oil feed line, to remove that pipe, because it makes everything much easier. Now there is a 13 mil bolt to the top here, securing this in position. I don't put him back on. Never had a problems, never had any issues. It's just, for me later on, it's just easy to work on the car and remove this line if I have to, because you do it blind after. I mean, I'm not saying you have to remove it, don't put it back on. This is a customer engine, so I have to put it back on. If this was mine, I wouldn't put it back on. That's what I'm saying. I do this way, you do your way. But there you go. So, and this one again, take it off. And we're gonna do some choppy here. Actually, from one of these I can do 2 engines, because 1 and 2. Okay, so at this point we cut it almost everything that we had to actually cut, or use angle grinder or bandsaw, whatever you want to do. So the pipe that I told you from the water pump, this is literally what you have left. It's very little, absolutely little piece of it. And this is literally how much we are simplifying the whole system around this engine. Once we've done it, pretty much 85%, almost 90% of the stuff that was attached to the engine around it is going to be gone. They don't need it, and that is the beauty of these engines. They're very, very simple, even with the management. So this point, the way I done it, again, cut it off, clean the paint, squash it, and TIG weld it, because I have that possibility. If you don't have that possibility, you can just cut it off. It will end up something like this, and you can put one of these bunks. Now, this is nothing strange. This bunk is actually something that Volkswagen put on. So yeah, it's normal, nothing strange about it. So block it off, whatever measures, whatever way you want to do it, just block it off. Now this second part here, again, like I said, just after the bend, after the corner, we have about 10-12 mil of straight surface to put the pipe on, and that's more than plenty. You're gonna see later after when we're gonna put the fuel, the cooling system on. We're still having this bolt here, which goes in there, that one there, which keeps everything in place. Very simple. Grease on the other side. Make sure inside there, that hole there, this one here, it's nice and clean inside, because that is literally your water pump housing. Again, one-handed. You see, now we don't have to remove anything else, so just get out of the way a little and slide it in, twist it a little, be gentle with it, try to put it straight, don't force it too much. Sorry, don't force it too much, it doesn't have to, especially when you have the grease. Align it with the bolt, that bolt that we haven't lost, I guess, I think. For fuck's sake. What is it? Have I actually? Oh Jesus, no I haven't. I need to find it. Where did I put it? What a moron. I just told you not to lose it. Have I lost it? No I haven't, I just don't know where it is, which is by definition losing it. All right, yeah, all right, let me just find it, because I don't want to be a dumbass. Let me put the camera for a second down. I need to find this. With a moron. Oh, we're not serious, are we? Come on. What the fuck? Oh no, we're not. We are fucking serious. Of course, we haven't lost it. We just forgot where we put it. Oh, this is another thing that this is why this barrel is with me for years now. And every time, every bolt I put on, obviously besides the bolts that you have to put Loctite on it, I put a bit of the anti-seize grease. Now I use this grease on this O-rings and rubber stuff, which is, you know, usually I do other greases, but it doesn't matter. Grease is grease, it's fine. So we put that one on there, and oh fuck it, let's have it on the video. This video is going to be way too long. This video is going to be tight. So, and this is our cooling system prepped on this side of the engine for and MR2. Obviously this is going to be on this side. Again, everything is supplied, but we don't have to put it on now. Actually, we can put it later, no problems whatsoever. There's plenty of access on that. We have chopped almost everything. What I mean, obviously that pipe there, we've chopped this one here, which again, just make sure you clean everything, you debate, because when you cut it with the angle around there, you're gonna have some crap inside. Make sure that is removed. If not, you're gonna lose your engine very easily. You screw it in all the way in. Doesn't have to make it tight, no, because when you screw the oil filter, you're gonna screw it in. So worst case scenario, you're gonna get tighter. That's it. So even by hand, this is good enough. To be honest, originally this is just a little bit more than just by hand. You lose it very easily. The bracket, that's it from the alternator, it already been chopped off, and the way it looks like is obviously you have the strap to keep everything secure. Is there. That's it. So nice and easy, nice and simple, nice and clean. Now there's another thing that we have to cut off. We didn't. I brought it with me. This is the gearbox bracket, not mount, bracket. Now this one has to be removed. Now you say, okay, well, what a shitty design you've done on your engine ones when you have to chop this off. Now the reason I have to chop this off, because there's literally physically no space between this and the Toyota mount itself on the chassis. There's going to be interference, so we physically don't have a space for this. This is not because I went lazy on the engine ones, because I found the position of the engine in first place, and then we do everything I require to keep that position. If I have to keep this in there, we will have to redesign the engine ones, and the engine will be about an inch lower, which we will stick out below the line of the chassis legs. We don't want that, so it is necessary. Purge it. Don't moan about it. That's it. But once you remove this, is fairly easy, to be honest. This is hollow inside, so don't need much. Get the angle grande, do the line there, line here, line there, 4 corners, and then just smooth it out. Make sure nothing of this sticks above this. You see this line is actually above this one, so make sure you get the screwdriver or something flat. Make sure nothing of this sticks above these two flat, because this is where the gearbox mounts go on. Now we are at this stage, and I know this video is already long, but again, like I said, everyone wants to see this very detailed, detailed. Jesus, a lot of details. Fuck me, I can't even speak today. So every answer, everything, has to be answered. Every question has to be answered. What's wrong with me today? I don't know. It's probably late now. I need to go home. I haven't slept last night, so maybe that's why. I know it's going to be long, but again, trying to answer all the questions you guys asked. Possible questions accumulated, because we have loads of them, which bolt we have to remove, which not. So I'm hoping this is going to be, in details enough to clear everything up. So we literally, physically, not just theory, not just pictures, not just explanations, but real world, situation, building this car together. So step by step, you're gonna do it with me, and there's no hidden nothing. It's just nice and clear. So if you're watching all of this after this, you have no excuse yet. Also, this already lose them. This thing can be removed completely, because we don't need it, we don't use it, and most of the time they don't actually work. So yeah, off we go. And this one to the other side is connected. Well, this is part of the sensor, EGT sensor on the turbo. So you can either chop it off there, or leave it there, or remove it from here and find the bolt to put it back on. Just make sure this is sealed, there's no hole in there. I will just leave it and chop the wires off close to the bolt. And yeah, that's it. We're gonna put these two back on now. Don't forget them. These engines, these ECUs really rely on the knock sensors, so they have to be put back on. Don't over tie them, don't leave them loose, just make sure they on. Next thing you can do right now is the throttle body. I already removed it because I need 2 hands, but just to show you, this stays like that, like I said, and all you need to do is to remove those 4 bolts all around it, rotate it, and put it back on. Obviously, before you do it, check if the gasket is alright. Obviously, it's no more things, check for everything. And again, one-handed. So if I can do it one hand, you have no excuses. Just, but you get the point. Everything is symmetrical, so no problems. You can literally put the throttle body each whatever position you want, no problems. And the plug is here, and everything is out of the way. Now I use this for the vacuum pipe that we're gonna chop. It is literally here on the chassis for the brake booster. Now obviously gonna do it later on. Well, now, but after I put the camera down, I've chopped off obviously what I've shown you, the wires for the sensor, for the EGT sensor, because again, first of all, I bet you 99% that wasn't working as any of them. There is another sensor we're not gonna need. Level temperature sensor on inside the sump, we don't need it. and we can trace the wires, which I did, and they come up here. Now you can chop them right off. There's 3 of them. Just make sure you tape them off later on, don't leave them exposed. So that's something that comes off. And now there's another one that usually we chop off, we don't use it, is this one here. This sensor is your speed sensor. Now we don't use this because obviously MR2 the body takes the speed from the ABS sensors, so it's independent from the gearbox. However, you can do you can set up to different boosts in different gears. So first, second and third gear or fourth can all have different gears, different boosts, but the ECU have to know the speed, and the ECU we will read this sensor here. So the way I run this, so the wiring loom, the whole harness goes this way on top of the starter motor, and I put a big ass zip tie around here. So all of this is tied with the motor, with the engine. There's no movement on of this, so the wires are safe, because when they move and vibrate, you know, it's good to keep them nice and safe. And then they go over here inside the chassis, and this is another point of anchor. So only this section here, which is fairly long enough, is the flexible part in the wiring room, where it should flex, not on this. Yeah, that's it. Let's go forward. Oil filter back on, that's bolted, bracket is bolted, that's on. A longer wire sensor coil around this, plug it in, don't forget to put it in to plug it. This, plug it in, make sure they're on. This is blanked off, and this one here is what I use is a normal fuel hose, 8mm fuel hose, and a 5mm Allen key bolt. It gets in properly, nice. You don't have to put anything on. Is there, it's solid. You can resist any pressure. Honestly, it's such a good find. It's such a just quick solution, and it works great. Don't remember to blank this off, although you can do it later. This is what I'm leaving this for later, because yeah, no reason really. This is clogged, this is in, although this one we're gonna disconnect it because this takes some space. Also, what I like to do out of these is this plug, I can actually remove it, and just this kind of get one-handed, this, there you go. Prefer doing this, and maybe put a zip tie around the reason for this, because the bucket is quite close. There is enough space for this, but you see that plastic bit which I just removed, it's quite big, and it may actually touch her up, so it's actually safer to hold this in place there. So you obviously don't want to snap the wires, but it takes way less space. Alternator back on, tensioner back on, trigger will bolted back on. This all goes back as a standard pulley, just, you know, the new one. The belt is provided because it's shorter one, and the belt, as you notice, has one missing tooth. Well, not tooth, ribs. It's like another way. You put it to the inside. The reason for that is because we need some space between this bracket and that belt, which is close. I mean, now it's safe, but if this was if this was wider, it will touch this. Now this is a bracket for the trigger wheel sensor. You put it on the standard bolts. There is a slot here to adjust it, but usually you don't have to put it all the way in, so that touches there and is in the right place. And the standard Toyota crank sensor position goes in there. There's only one way to put it on, so you can't make a mistake. Put it on there. The only thing that you have to be careful on those sensors is, now this is supposed to be set up, and the crank sensor should be closed there. There should be about 0.5 to 1 millimeter up to 1.5 millimeter of space between the crank sensor and the trigger wheel. Slightly, 1 mil, 1.5. That's where you want to be. Sometimes you have to shim them a little. Again, very, very much sometimes unlikely. So, just to make you aware of that. And that's it. I want to show you one thing. Let me turn this around so it's more light. You know what I was saying? This engine is like, what the bloody hell put this together? I mean, the timing, belt was loose, the crank sensor was incorrectly, blah blah blah. And I was gonna show you, I forgot. Ah, yeah. So this is your boost control valve. Okay, look at this thing. What's going on there? It's not only cutting into the thing, but it's like squashed, like squeezed, like breaking that thing. So that's not how you do it. You may as well put just a zip tie around this. Actually, I'm gonna do it on the camera. I wanna remove it and see if it actually has done any damage, because this is ridiculous now. This is another thing, and now I am pretty much convinced that who put this stuff together shouldn't actually put anything together. I'm sorry, I don't know who it is. I'm not slugging anyone in particular, but you know, you have to have some common knowledge to work on this stuff. I mean, come on, look at it. What's not only it has been chewed in, so if you look, that actually cut through. So you have a boost leak from there. So that doesn't control the boost properly. You see, it's not just there. It's because there it doesn't really matter too much, but there, you see, it's through. Plus it's squashed. There you go, as expected. Breaking that one. So yeah, come on. Let's just not break stuff if we don't have to. I mean, this has no place in there. Look how big it is. Oh God. I mean, I shouldn't really go into details with this stuff because it's completely, it's slightly different, you know, the crank sensor and this couple of modifications. But actually, it is relative to what we're doing, because you know, everyone has a second-hand engine, sometimes modified, sometimes standard, but they had some years, so it is quite likely that someone put their hands on them. So it's actually good to work on this and check everything. For example, I'm not gonna I didn't show you. I'm not gonna show you today, but I'm gonna show you later on. We already found out. Actually, I'm gonna show you now. Fuck it. See that? That's white paint. And this on my finger, let me see if you can see it, is white paint inside the engine. So whoever painted this cam cover painted it inside as well. Not good, because obviously they haven't degreased it or whatever, and the paint from inside is coming off. Where do you think that paint, that flaked paint, is gonna go? Inside the oil. It's thin and small enough to go inside through obviously filters and everything, and it's gonna go to the oil galleries and it's gonna do some damage. So, you know, it's just, come on, common sense. We don't ask for much. Same story here, look at it. What's going on? Come on, let's not do stupid stuff like this. At this point, we are good to take care of the gearbox side, or the mount, the billet mount we do. So this one all comes with bolts. It doesn't come with a seal, although I'm contemplating to supply the seal as well. We see. For the moment, this is how it comes along. Nice. So the way you put it on, first of all, you have to make sure everything here is being removed. So that collar there, which, you know, connects the motion from that to the forward drive system, to the coupler, has to be removed. All this surface is nice and clean enough, not like this, for example. Yeah, nothing sticking up, because otherwise O-rings will not seal properly. All over, everywhere. Okay, so the way this comes, you flip it around and it comes with 3 different O-rings. One goes here, one goes there, one goes there. As you notice, I didn't put them on. Reason for that is because what you want is a lick of grease. Tiny bit, don't need much. Okay. So the big one seals around here, it seals around here, and it seals around here. So these, all of these 3 actually are the oil passages for the transfer case, or for the 90-degree coupler, whatever you want to call it. So we have to seal them off. Yeah. Well, anyways, so you need the grease, so when you put it straight, they don't come off. Otherwise, if they move, if this goes move outside, it's not gonna sit, and you're gonna pinch it and you're gonna ruin it. So yeah, that's what the grease is for. You need one of these, and this is, you can see, I have the screenshot, is a shaft seal. This is the number. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, let's open it. and you put it in there likewise. No grease, nothing, just knock it gently inside. I need 2 hands for this. Besides this, you're gonna need, actually no, I'm gonna show you in a second. Alright, so this will not go in by hand. Remember this is, we have exactly the same tolerances on this billet pad and the standard gearbox, so yeah, you have to knock it in. This is how they are fitted by standard. So okay, make sure the O-rings are in there, the bolts as a guide, and get it in, aligned, and start getting the bolts in. Okay, so we have next is the front wheel drive gearbox, same gearbox front wheel drive version, half shaft. So this one, again, this is another question people ask. This is this centers the bearing in the front wheel drive. This is slightly different. We don't need this because this groove doesn't exist in this gearbox. So you literally frame it off from that spring and the whole lot comes off. No need of any of that. So yes, this comes as it is with nothing on it. Now usually sometimes they come with like a seal here, like a plastic protection. Take that one off as well, not needed. This protects everything already. Put it back on, slides in, there you go, and then there is that center bolt. Put it on, is where's the tool? There you go, has a 6mm Allen key. Put it in, get it tight. Do not over tighten it, it's just one bolt and it keeps everything from coming off. But it doesn't have to be super tight, it's too small to get it mega tight. Now, once you get this right, the camera is not pointing in the right direction, sorry. This, they're not too smooth. You see, you have to put some force to move this. That's normal. This is how the gearboxes, how the Volkswagen gearboxes work. So there you go. That's enough. Hold tight. And yeah, with this, I think. Let me have a look. I think we're finished on the engine side, engine prep. Obviously, we have to do this, but we can do it later. This is not needed anymore here. Off you go. If you were curious, O2M, this is petrol gearbox. Sometimes we use diesel gears in them because again, different gears ratio, blah blah blah. That's it. Then we have to cut this off. We better do it obviously now, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow because we are at the end of the day. So that's going to be cut off. This is going to be chopped off, and the rest you can do it with the engine inside the car. This is the most important stuff that you have to do to the engine to get it prepared for that stuff. Obviously this to be honest, as much as you prefer, there's plenty of space under the car to do it. If you don't have access from under the car because you don't have the ramp, or it's a pain in the ass to crawl under, put it on now. But obviously to have it, you have to first remove the 1cc engine. So up to you. I do it now or later, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, that's it. Make sure this is blocked, make sure this is blocked later or now. For now, this is all we need. Yeah, it is that simple. I think this is the end of the first episode. We're gonna split it because this is preparing the Volkswagen engine to be put into the chassis. And then after that, I'm gonna show you roughly what to do to remove that engine there to make your life simpler. And then from then on, we're gonna prepare the chassis with a couple of things to do before you put that engine in, to make sure everything goes nice and smooth and you actually do it quick, because some of the things it may take you 1 minute to do it or 1 hour, depending in which sequence we're gonna do this stuff. So we're gonna show you those tricks. So yeah, hope this wasn't too long, but again, everything shown properly.